We have all heard of the dictum, education by the eyes is less tiresome for the eyes. Now, every retailer today is doting on that visual education, which in retail we call visual merchandising. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, we bring to you Roya Sullivan, National Window Director, and Scott Christopher Devine, Senior Vice President, Macy's, who will decode the melodrama they create every year in the name of holiday windows. Ladies and gentlemen, as they join us on stage right now, they will jointly present Macy's holiday windows, magnificent, effective, and ROI-proof. A loud round of applause as we welcome them. Thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. I'm Scott Devine, Senior Vice President of Visual Merchandising at Macy's, and this is Roya Sullivan, our National Window Director. Macy's is America's department store. We have 550 stores across all of the United States, as well as Puerto Rico and Guam. At Macy's, we believe in the power of celebration, tradition, and creating memorable customer experiences. Experiences that connect with the heart and mind of our customer and that are woven into the fabric of American life. One of our oldest and most important traditions is our holiday windows. R.H. Macy's himself revolutionized retail and the holiday season when he himself, in 1874, launched our very first holiday windows, where he did not show any merchandise. This was during the height of the season, and he only created windows with no merchandise that focused on an experience that was to surprise and delight the customers, a gift to the customers. Here you can see one of our original windows that just had porcelain dolls and figurines. This tradition has continued since 1874, and Roy and I are very proud to be the stewards of that tradition. Today, it is much more elaborate. It is a year-long process. There's much more technology, interactive, but the mission remains the same. It is to create an experience for the customer that is not based on product. There's no way to track the sales results, but it is known across the United States when Macy's launches their windows, the holiday season has started. And that has connected with our customers. When you think of Christmas, you think of Macy's. I have a short clip of what our windows are today, and you can see the change from how simple they were initially to what they are today. Do you have the video? Okay, well, maybe we can show the video at the end. I'm going to turn it over to Roya now to take us through some of examples of our holiday windows.
Okay. There's always technical difficulties. So I'm going to go through a few slides of some of our older windows, but not as old as 1870s. And I'll touch on fabrication and what type of materials we use, and kind of go over what that might look like, through the years. What you're seeing here is to the 2008 holiday window, which, as you can see, the fabrication included wood, metal, fiberglass, plastic, any of that would come together and create a final well-crafted window is definitely seen in our displays at the Herald Square store. As Scott said, the tradition began in 1870s in our 14th Street location and then moved on to our 34th Street location. But it is not the only store that we create the holiday windows for. We have 8 other doors throughout the United States that we create animated windows. And then we have another 150 stores that have window capabilities, and over the seasonal changes, we send various applications to change them. I'll put my glasses back on. So this is another shot of the 2008 window, and I wanted to just, again, tell you that R.H. Macy himself was the first person to start the Christmas windows, and it's, we've heard a lot, the previous speakers talked about experience, and if you think about it, he was the very first retailer to think about that, because as you know, we're all about product and putting gifting and merchandise in the window all year long. And he was the first one to say that is not what we're going to be doing. We're going to be telling a story and actually connect with the customer through an experience. This is another window in 2010. Again, as you can see, we play a lot with material as well as scaling. Here's another one. This is not a close-up. The actual build of the window was the character's feet were in the front of the window, and then the rest of the build was further in the back. Here's when, in 2013, we began to integrate, of course, animation, which I'll get into later, but LED screens. So again, the two previous speakers spoke about having animation and LED screens, and as my predecessor said, when you go to New York, all you see is LED screens, and this is when we started to introduce LED screens in all of our windows. Here's again another example of 2014. Not only LED screens, but LED lighting was added. And again, a fun fact, it takes over 200 people to put together these windows. Carpenters, electricians, craftsmen, animators. All of these people come together and put together these windows. It takes all year. The windows go in November. In January, we begin to put together ideas for the following year. And it takes 21 days to install the windows. Here's our collaboration with the Charlie Brown. I'm sure many of you know about Charlie Brown and his story, and there was a couple years ago in 2015, it was the 100th anniversary of the Charlie Brown special, so we dedicated our windows to Charlie Brown. I put this slide and this slide in because again, all of us are talking about experience and what it feels like for a customer. So as not only the customer is going to experience the window while they're standing in front of the window, but this is the facade of our Herald Square, our biggest store building. And as you can see, we have integrated various different experiences on the exterior of the building. We had the light boxes the year before, and then in this particular year, 2016, we had a large Santa Claus at the entrance of our window, and as you can see, the fiberglass framing. Oops, sorry. So 2017, we had a great installation, and this is where I really kind of wanted to talk about animation. This window was not only a large tube that rolled, but within that rolling of the tube, we had other animation and animatronics where the characters popped out. So it was a double animated installation. And what the customer comes to Macy's is for this. It is not only to really experience a beautiful window, but they expect to be involved and interact with the window. So not only they get to see animatronics, but I'll go to the next couple of slides where we actually have games and interaction with our customers. In this particular, this is one of our favorite windows, and not only did we want to have a experience of a postcard. I mean, how many have gone on a trip to New York and bought a postcard of Empire State Building and kept it? And so this was kind of our nod to a Gotham, a city that may, you would stand back and take a photo and it would be a postcard to take home. But on the left-hand side, as you can see, there's a viewfinder. And in there, once the customer leaned down and looked, you got to go through a slideshow of various different fun things that would remind you of Christmas. So I want to show you 2018. This was last year. Sunny was our character, and the title of the window was Believe in the Wonder of Giving. This was what it looks like as you're walking down the street. So hopefully where you're walking across the street or down the street, this will attract you, and you'll come forward and look at the windows. And it was a full integration. And what I mean by that is that the story was in the windows, the story was on the facade of the building, and the story was in our parade. Now this video worked. So as you can see, I'm not sure if you guys know, but every year, I'm not sure how many years, I think it's the 90th anniversary or 92nd anniversary of the parade. We have had a parade in New York City, and millions of people attend, and millions of people watch. And it's really, as Scott said, the opening of the windows and the parade is the opening of the holiday season for the entire country. And to have our character that was in the window as a full-on balloon closing the parade was a huge accomplishment, I think, to integrate all of the marketing and visual merchandising together. And I'm just going to go through the slides here to kind of show you what the windows look like. And this particular window was an interactive, full-on game with a joystick on the outside of the glass. You can see there's a tube cylinder on the outside of the glass. The customer could move the character, and behind this character was a full-size LED screen where you actually played a game, you scored, and you won. And here we have Scott playing our game, and you can see that the customers are obviously waiting to go ahead and engage. This was one of the other windows. So again, even though we are engaging the customer through animation and interaction, we still really want the customer to enjoy the craftsmanship of what this is. And these are all this was Santa's bag, and inside this was a bunch of toys, and that large fox is a stuffed animal, but in a very, very large scale with the eyes moving back and forth. And it was just a gorgeous window to look at, even though it had all this animation and all of this going on. It's still a picturesque, artful window. There's Santa. The Santa had two movements, movement 1, movement 2, and the entire wall was LED. And then some sweeter little stories with the 5th window, and then the 6th window, you had the character meet Santa with friends and family. And as Scott said, it's really all about the tradition. We really want the customer to continue coming to Macy's, experience the windows, hopefully pass it on to their children, and then the children will pass it on to their children. It's an event for the Macy's customer to come to the unveiling, to come visit the store, come visit Santa, and look at the windows. And as you can see here, this is what we're looking for. Children from 9 years old to 90 play with the window and interact and enjoy. The second part of my presentation is really just some quick slides. As much as we all like to talk about our largest investment, which is our holiday windows, we do have the rest of the year to deal with. So I'm going to show you some seasonal ideas and some of the windows we installed. And some of the fabrications are quite simple. They are vinyl or gauze or whatever that is, and I just kind of wanted to show you that. The first one is obviously spring flowers for spring. And then here's a simple vinyl application for budget purposes. One of the questions was earlier that, what are some budget conscious things we can do? And this is a really great example of a simple vinyl application. And if you look at one of the mannequins wearing that coat, that is where the inspiration comes from the merchandise itself. This is plexi and printing application. This is natural materials installed in the window. This is culturally connecting with an artist from New York, Nina Chanel, who helped us draw up these characters and put in the window. So again, culture connection. Neon is one of my favorite things to use. This is neon roping for summer. Again, vinyl application, wallpaper. LED screens, again, in a simpler, less overwhelming application. Holidays, always about gifting, fashion. And here is, again, a holiday window setup for fashion. Not all our windows are dedicated to animatronics and animated windows, but the rest of our windows are executed such as this, and this is a wood application. And then just some kind of some interesting installations that we have. This is for a wedding registry window. This is for Mother's Day, paper application, floral. Back to school, less traditional, bought books attached to the wall. And then more traditional application of back to school with paper planes. This was our last year's back to school, and what I really wanted to tell you about this was that this was a complete takeoff of what marketing actually not only advertised in the ad campaign, it was in our mailer. So the idea was Polaroids, large-scale Polaroids, and we obviously created a 3D Polaroid here, actual camera. And here it is, what it looks like inside the store. So it is not only the outside of the building, it includes windows, interiors, and moving on to other floors. I wanted to quickly go over this little project we had. Back in 2016, we also partner many times with vendors as well as movie studios, and this was the movie Troll. I don't know if you guys saw it. There's a huge bag outside Macy's. For 90 years, this bag had existed, and it was the first time that we actually went ahead and played with this bag. So this project was merchandise as well as a movie collaboration. So the first few images are what we proposed to them, which was renderings for the main entrance, for windows, and then the shops. And this is what we ended up doing. So there's a little movie here. So you can see what a project this is. This had to be over 6 overnight installations in a very large city that requires many, many permits. And every white hair I have today is from this particular project. But you can see what it took. We had to cover the star, and then this is a vinyl application that had to weather a rainstorm, a windstorm, and some other things. But the troll letters were paillettes, so when the wind would sort of brush against it, it would move, so it was very pretty. And then this is what it looked like inside the store. The characters were built out of foam, all hand sculpted and painted and sprayed with various different paint applications. These were the windows. And this is our windows in San Francisco. So this installed in all our 150 plus windows. So really integrated throughout the country. This is what the shop looked like. And this is what the kids' shop looked like. And this is what our ultimate goal is for total integration for marketing and visual merchandising to marry, and then the customer to enjoy it, shop, and then, of course, Instagram it. And that's all I have. We're going to see if we can play the first movie. Should we try? Okay, wonderful.
While we're setting that up, if you've got any questions, I think we can take one question and then move into the film. Yeah? So please raise your hand. We'll have a mic brought on over to you. If you have, it's been an interesting journey into Macy's windows, and so I'm going to hand over the mic to you. If you could introduce yourself as well.
Hi, My name is Rajat from Deloitte. Just wanted to check with you. You mentioned you have 550 stores, but you're doing 150 windows. So does that mean the other stores don't have these window decorations, or they are done differently? And second question was, is the theme of the window is what you're promoting in store, or is it sort of overall theme for the year? Just some thoughts on that.
So, how we approach the overall theme is it really depends. We do multiple things. Sometimes it's tied back to a marketing campaign. It's never tied to a promotion like a sale event. It's always a fashion regular price time of year. And then it's an overall theme. We definitely tie and have an integration with the marketing team, but it's really our own inspiration based on what's happening from a fashion point of view, from what's happening culturally, what's happening with artistic collaborations. So we really pull our inspiration from a lot of things, but ultimately it is an integrated omni overall message in all of the stores. And I'm sorry, the first part of the question?
I think about that one. So 150 stores have windows, and then the others do not. So the window collateral wouldn't arrive in that store, but the window collateral always matches what's in the interior of the store. So if it's Mother's Day, Father's Day, spring, fall, that interior installation does take place.
So even though they don't have windows, the 150 doors will look like that, but throughout the store, there's collateral and visual that matches back to it, yes. So for all, 550 stores.
You're good?
All right, we've got the movie, so let's play the film.
Okay, you have to play it.
Do we have any more questions before? Yes, one more question before we close this session. Mr. Nyanaolavu, can we have a, yes, thank you very much.
Thank you for the great presentation. Beautiful windows. So I was just wondering, where do you get the talent to create these kind of windows? Because it looks like there's a lot of engineering, sculpture, all kinds of stuff. So is it like in-house? How much of it is outsourced? And my second question is, how do you measure the effectivity of these windows? I'm sure that there's a lot of investment that goes into this.
So we actually, it's not in-house. The ideation and the rendering is in-house. And then we hire artists, a lot of them locally, from a company called Standard Transmission, and they built this for us for the past 5 years. They've been doing that, and I think that's what's so great about it, because they are handmade, handcrafted, and then I'll let Scott answer that. But I just want you to know what this means to our customers. Around, I don't know if any of you have ever been to New York, but 34th Street is a very busy area. So normally we have under 10,000 people walk by our windows per hour, but during the holiday season, it's 15,000 persons that walk by our windows. So that is how we measure the success of it.
Roya really answered it. We don't measure it financially in any way back to any type of ROI, other than it's just part of our, like I said, our customer experience that RH Macy's revolutionized retail with in 1874. We've just continued it. And we like to say it has many fingerprints and nose prints against the glass, and how many children we see playing, young and old, outside of our windows is how we really evaluate it, but there is no real return on investment calculation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for those questions. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. The journey through Macy's holiday windows, that was truly magnificent. Thank you very much.